So yeah, I watched the first episode of Apple TV's biggest show, Severance. And who was gonna tell me that Ben Stiller, you know, the guy from Zoolander and Tropic Thunder, great movies by the way.
Excuse me, bro. You're excused. And I'm not your bra.
But yeah, not only can this guy act really well, he's hilarious by the way, but he can also direct. This first episode was phenomenal. I cannot complain whatsoever. All the shots felt deliberate, all the acting choices felt deliberate, everything culminated to make a perfect introduction to your show, and they, for me at least, succeeded in every single way. This might be a 10 out of 10 episode, and I don't hand that out lightly, but it was really good. Alright, I'm officially done glazing Ben Stiller, the direction, the writing, whatever. Let's actually talk about the first episode and what happens. To begin with, we are introduced to Helly, and Helly has just undergone the process of the severance. The severance is when a person chooses to have their brain split into two. One side of the brain is for work, the other side of the brain is for personal life, and this causes the person to forget everything on the outside while they're at work and forget everything on the inside while they leave work. So essentially, it's two different people with two different memories and minds operating with one body. So Helly's asked a few questions, 5 questions or so, about what she remembers and what she knows.
5 questions.
5 questions.
What do I get at the end?
Depends on your answers.
She gets a perfect score, which means the severance has been completed.
That's a perfect score.
Time skips a little bit and we find our main character crying in his car, Mark. Now this is outside Mark, and Mark is about to go to work, and that's when we'll meet inside Mark. Now as of right now, we don't know too much about outside Mark, but we're about to learn some more about inside Mark. So inside Mark's best friend is Petey, and he's recently been fired.
Shouldn't be
Petey is no longer with this company.
I'm sorry?
I said Petey is no longer with this company.
I'm sorry, Mark. You guys were one of my favorite office friendships.
So now Mark has a promotion where he has to do Petey's job, and Petey's job was introducing the severed into the work life. When somebody is severed, they have no memory of the outside, and when they have no memory of the outside life, they get really scared and they freak out, and that's why they need to be introduced in a slow manner that makes them comfortable. So it cuts back to the first scene of the show, and we see that Mark was actually the one asking Helly these questions, but Mark, being fairly new at the job, he's kind of terrible and makes her really scared, so she freaks out and hurts him.
To start, imagine yourself as a seesaw. Ow! Fuck! That lock's from out there!
Let me out!
God.
But she does eventually calm down, and that's when Mark shows her the ropes around the office and what she has to do. And she gets a video from her outside self telling her that she's been severed and now the work life is her only life.
I give consent for my perceptual chronologies to be surgically split, separating my memories between my work life and my personal life. I acknowledge that henceforth my access to my memories will be spatially dictated.
So eventually the workday does end, and this is when we get to know more about outside Mark. Outside Mark has no memory, of course, of what happened in the office or inside work at all. This is essentially a completely different character. Now, outside Mark has lost his wife Gemma, which is why he got into the severance in the first place, so he can have 8 hours of a day where he doesn't have to feel the sorrow or loneliness without his wife. But he does have a sister, which gets him involved in family things with her and her husband, so Mark does go to dinner with them, and this is where we kind of find out what the society thinks about the severance. They have other people at the dinner table, of course, and they're talking about normal things like work and their lives, and one of them brings up what Mark does for a living, and he says that he does a severance. And apparently in society and ethically, people think that severance is wrong, considered unethical, and it's kind of like a brainwashing technique where you go into the severance and you lose a piece of yourself. Conversations kind of get heated, and eventually they calm down and go back to normal conversation.
That Mark made a decision, and that decision was controversial. Ethically, socially, morally, scientifically.
After that, everybody leaves and Mark decides to stay over, and when he can't sleep, he wakes up in the middle of the night, gets a glass of water, and he sees a man outside his sister's house just standing there. Later this is revealed to be Petey. So Petey has escaped from Lumen, which is the company they work at. So he knows inside Mark. He doesn't know the new Mark, but he's been following around Mark trying to get him alone to explain to him that his brain has been unsevered and he can now remember what happened inside the office.
Hi, kids. What's for dinner?
and he gives Mark a card with an address on it and says, go here if you do care about the Severance and you want to know what's been happening. And that's pretty much where the episode ends.
There's an address on the back of this card. Go alone, and you'll find the beginning of a very long answer.
Now there is some other things I will talk about in my full video of the whole season later on, but for now, that's really the main points of episode 1 and all the plot points and details that went into it. Everything about it was phenomenal, 10 out of 10 episode for me. And let me just tell you, Adam Scott is phenomenal. He is the best. Him being able to play 2 characters, for me, is like an all-time achievement for an actor to be able to go above and beyond and handle 2 characters. It's almost like Michael B. Jordan earlier this year with Sinners, where I thought him playing 2 characters that felt very different from each other was amazing, and he's doing it here, and I like it a lot. So this is a very interesting show where most of the cast is going to have to play multiple characters. But yeah, that's really enough glazing. I really enjoyed it. It was amazing. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe. I appreciate all the support and all the support I've been getting on my videos, man. They've been blowing up, and I'm so thankful. It's been amazing, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Oh, and I finally found out where this character's from. The guy in the office, he's from You on Netflix. I've been looking for it the whole day. It's been weighing on my mind, and I finally found out who he is. Sorry for that. I just looked that up and found that he was from You, so I kind of had to say it. But yeah, I'm going now. Goodbye.